In a forgotten corner of Sendai, where the wind carried the faint salt of the sea, and the streets glowed under the weight of twilight, there stood a cafe that seemed to hold time in its hands. Café Donna. Donna was a humble place, its wooden door worn smooth by years of comings and goings, its windows casting a honeyed light that beckoned the weary. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of coffee, warm and grounding, laced with something softer. Memory, perhaps, or the promise of one last chance to say what mattered most. The cafe was a whispered legend among those who knew its secret. Sit in a certain chair, drink a cup of coffee before it cooled, and you could slip back to a moment from your past, but only one that had unfolded within these walls. The rules were unyielding. You couldn't change the present, no matter how fiercely your heart pleaded. Yet people came, their footsteps hesitant but heavy with purpose, each one chasing a goodbye they'd never quite managed. On this quiet evening, a man named Rio entered, his shoulders hunched against a chill that wasn't just the autumn air. In his wallet, tucked behind a faded train ticket, was a photograph of his brother Taro, grinning under a summer sky. Rio hadn't seen that smile in years, not since a fight had carved a silence between them, one that grew too vast to cross before Taro was gone. The cafe's promise felt like a fragile hope, but Rio clung to it, needing to say the words he'd buried too long. Behind the counter, Katsumi, the cafe's keeper, moved with a quiet reverence, his hands steady as he poured the coffee. His eyes met Rio's, carrying a gentleness that saw through to the ache within. "And the past doesn't bend," Katsumi said softly. But sometimes, it listens." Rio nodded, his throat tight, and took the chair, the one that seemed to hum with a life of its own. Steam rose from the cup, curling like a bridge across time. The world blurred, then sharpened, and Rio was there, years ago, in this same cafe, Taro across from him, his laugh filling the space like sunlight. Rio's chest ached at the sight, his brother's messy hair, the way his hands gestured wildly as he told a story. Rio had come to say, "I'm sorry. I should have called. I loved you, even when I didn't know how to show it." But before he could speak, Taro slid a cup of coffee toward him, grinning. "It looked like you need this," he teased, and Rio felt the weight of their old ease, the bond they'd let slip. They talked, of nothing and everything, the fishing trips they'd planned but never taken, the songs they'd sung off-key, the dreams they'd shared before life pulled them apart. Rio's voice trembled as he tried to apologize, but Taro's eyes, warm and unguarded, seemed to understand. "Marsh, you're here now," he said. And those words were a gift Rio hadn't known he needed. Time was slipping, the coffee cooling, but in that moment, Rio felt whole, as if his brother's laughter could still echo in his bones. The cafe drew him back, and Rio sat alone, the empty cup cold in his hands. The photograph in his wallet hadn't changed, nor had the years of silence. But something in Rio had. He felt lighter, as if Taro's forgiveness had settled into him, a quiet strength to carry forward. He looked at Katsumi, who offered a small nod, and Rio's lips curved into a faint, grateful smile. Outside, Sendai shimmered under a sky dusted with stars, the night air sharp but kind. Rio stepped into it, the photograph pressed close, feeling his brother's presence in the breeze. Café Donna. Donna stood behind him, its lights glowing softly, ready for the next soul to seek its magic. Goodbyes were never easy, but in those stolen moments, the cafe whispered a truth. Love lingers, even when words run out, and sometimes that's enough to keep walking.
If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update.